Epic Sports Radio. We've got Blake McKernan on panel, Jason to my right, and Jency at the end of the table. One more shout out, man. I want to give a shout out to Max Muscle, Emerge, and I want to thank you for that. We've been drinking Max Muscle Protein all show. I have anyway. Good stuff. Again, I want to say what's up to Lavelle Nutrition there. It's Thrive. It's one of the things that we got going on here. And again, you could follow us on Epic News Sports on any social media. I want to thank Plexus. I've been drinking their pink water. That's the only thing that I take of theirs, so I want to thank them as well. Giovanni Sovereign, he's going to be up here in just a few minutes, so we're going to get back into the mix here. Blake, the guy that you fought, Derek Williams, he was, I believe, if I am correct, and again, I've heard stories, 60 pounds, 63 pounds heavier than you. So how is it like fighting a man that is 63 pounds heavier than you are right now?
And man, my biggest thing going into the fight, me and my coach knew that we were going to be at a weight advantage, or he was going to be at a weight advantage, and that the biggest thing was to just stay busy and to not let him, wrap me up and hold on to me and kind of wear my legs out. You have a man that's that much heavier than you'll wear your legs out real quick. So our biggest thing was just there were certain things that we practiced on, and going to the body was the main thing. But fighting somebody that heavy, man, all that weight comes behind a punch, man. You can definitely feel the difference from the cruiserweights that I've been scoring.
Right, so that leads me to my next question. How hard did he actually punch?
I don't really want to take too much away from him. It was a great fight. Right. I felt though during the fight, I felt like he was pushing a lot of his punches. He didn't really have a lot of pop. But still, insane, still even though he was pushing his punches, I could still feel his power. Not saying that I necessarily respected it because I kept coming forward. Right. But, like I said, getting used to the punches from a person that heavy compared to what I was fighting at as an amateur, world of difference. Right. So I'm glad that I finally got a taste of it. Even though I won't be fighting that heavy again, right? I'm going to be a little bit smarter in the fight as a cruiserweight, and I just really feel how I kind of went through that fight, taking on an opponent that had that much weight on me and showed that I can handle it. I feel like taking on the cruiserweight division is going to be something that I'll just move through.
All right, I saw you during the fight. I mean, you shook your head a couple times. And was that just something that you were doing, or were you actually shaking off a bit of a cobweb after a punch?
Sometimes, man, it's just more, so of a little twitch that I got from the military. Okay. Right. I'm never really hurt. I feel like when I'm getting so anxious, man, and my nerves are built up, man, I just get going. But, it's nothing that's going to faze me or stop me in this game.
All right, let's see. What do you got? You got a question for him?
I do, Blake. It's a little bit different, but I'm so impressed by your schedule. You work 9 to 5, and you train hard every day, 7 days a week. What did you dream of when you were a little boy?
Being a heavyweight world champion.
Wow, so really, you are there.
I'm making my way, yeah.
As like Jason was saying earlier, he thought he was already.
Yeah.
And when this guy walks around, he's got that confidence, and he's what's the word I'm looking for? Exuding that type. I mean, he's walking around like he's already there. He's there right here, and in reality, he's going to be there real soon.
Well, we call that speaking things into existence.
Yeah.
Some people call it law of attraction. And one thing we got to understand, there's a difference between being arrogant and cocky and being confident. Life is about you attacking what you want. It doesn't just fall in your lap. So, for Blake, I think his confidence is going to be to his benefit over the course of his career, because it's going to prepare him for the event that he faces a setback. I don't ever say the word loss, because you can speak that into existence, right? So we're never going to say an L. We'll deal with a setback Why? Because it's setting us up for a comeback.
Right.
So you have to start gearing your life when you go on endeavors like this. Being a professional athlete, that's like scaling Mount Everest. Whatever goals you set, whatever Glenn wants to do in radio, he has to be. It's go hard or go home. There is no in between.
Right.
There has to be a certain level of execution that's like that. So there we go.
All right, so, and I know you already answered this question somewhat, but I want to ask again, did any of his punches affect you at all?
I felt, he had caught me one time during the fight. I had a little slip. I rolled my ankle during the fight. They considered it a knockdown.
That's when you went down on your knee.
Yeah,
okay,
I took it. I was a little frustrated, but I was just waiting for him to count me, give me a standing 8 count. That way, I could get back out there. As soon as I got done with that standing 8 count, I came straight at him.
Right.
I wasn't never hurt. There was one punch that he had caught me with a short right hand. As I was coming in, I had my hands down, and he had caught me with a short punch. It didn't really hurt me, but it had kind of stunned me and it was kind of like a little phase that I wasn't used to that power, and it just shocked me real quick. As soon as I got back from that little 8 count, I came straight towards him and ended up scoring a knockdown.
That's are you talking about the one in the first round?
No, so we had both dropped each other or knocked each other down in the second round.
Right.
I was pressing him the whole first round. We both dropped each other. The second round was when I had that little slip.
Yes.
Wasn't until the third round that he had caught me with that short right hand, and then I had got up and I came straight at him. I ended up dropping him twice, and after the second knockdown, that was pretty much all she wrote.
Yeah. So, the different styles of training that you do, and Jinsey, I was going to have you ask this question, but I'm going to ask it for you. So, what kind of training regime would you not recommend, but kind of maybe talk to, we had an MMA fighter on earlier, that's a little different style, and a boxer. Is there any kind of regime or advice or anything that you would give as far as a training aspect from a different world?
Yeah, and I was listening to what you actually do. You go to the gym every day, is that right?
Almost every day, yeah.
So do you switch up your training? Because I know as a fighter, as an MMA fighter, you have
Boxer.
Yeah, no. The other guy was the MMA fighter. He's the boxer, yes.
The boxer, sorry. Yeah, so as a boxer, then you focus on strength training.
I do a lot of different styles of training. I don't ever go to the gym and do the same type of workouts every single day. Every single day I go to the gym. I'm very creative and I mix up my workouts. So every day is something different.
What does it look like? Do you do the boxing? Do you do
So usually how it is during the week, I'll go and do, my weight training for a couple hours every day, Monday through Friday, and then I'll go to my boxing training.
So let me ask you this. So we're fast forwarding to the third round. When you hit him with that final KO punch, how did you feel at that moment?
At that moment, I wanted him to get up because I wanted to keep on fighting.
The beast wanted to unleash.
Hey man, what happened if you watch the video, man, leading up to the first knockdown into the third round, I kind of had picked up on a little telltale sign of things that he does, and one of them was every time that he jabs, he drops his hand to his waist. So I waited to come in like as if I was going to throw a body shot, and I seen him throw a weak jab, and I came back with an overhand right, and I caught him flush right on the button. I strongly feel that if the ropes weren't there, he would have knocked down. The ropes caught him, and I knew that he was stunned from that shot. So I just came in throwing heavy left and right hooks, and after throwing a right and a left hook together, I tried to come back the right uppercut, and he was already dropped to the ground.
Yeah, and I mean, it was kind of, it was balls to the wall the whole fight, man. I've watched it several times with a video that I put up on YouTube, and the whole fight. The ref kind of, stopped it a couple times, but it was just, intensity intensity of the whole fight.
Yeah, it was great.
And I know you were filming the whole thing, I told you I'd get to this drink a little bit later. So what are you drinking, and what's up with that? You talked about that earlier. What is that?
Glenn, kombucha is. It's everybody's starting to kind of catch in on it now. But kombucha, Chinese have been drinking it for thousands of years, and what it is it's a fermented tea that they use. You could ask Keto.
Okay.
Uriah and some of his fighters, they are actually brewing their own kombucha.
Okay.
And what kombucha does is it aids in your digestive health.
All right.
When you eat certain foods, your digestion levels, like beef, it takes 48 hours. Chicken, 12 to 10 hours. Fish is like 8 to 10 hours. So what happens is if you're eating a lot of food that is not digested easily, you have that sitting in your body.
Right.
So kombucha helps break that down, so that way you absorb all your nutrients from the foods that you do eat. So it's just something, it's a probiotic, it's a liquid one I've been taking for about 4 or 5 years.
So Blake, do you drink this?
I don't.
You don't?
He will.
Not yet.
All right. I don't. He will not yet. All right.
He will.
You should get me a bottle so I could try it, and I'll
You got it.
try it out and see what's up.
Yeah,
So let me. Okay. You the fight's over. Everything's ecstatic. Everything's going on. Your son comes in the ring. You're holding him in your arms, and I know we've talked about he's your motivation and everything. And again, you're a single father, but your pro debut, you win in dramatic fashion, KO. Your son comes to you. You're holding him in your arms. Tell me about the feeling that you had, and tell me about that moment.
That very moment, man, I told my sister that was in the crowd, I said, when I get done knocking this dude out, I already predicted the fight before it happened.
Yes, you did.
I said, when I get done knocking this dude out, bring my son to the ring as soon as I win. Wow. Seeing my son and my victory was the only person that I cared about seeing at that very moment first, because every day that I wake up, every single morning, he's the motivation, just looking at him, to keep on grinding as hard as I do every day. Man, I only sleep a few hours a day, so the average person is not going to be able to keep up with that method of training and working so much. And so my biggest thing, man, when I got done winning that fight, very first person, the only person I cared about seeing was my son. And I just gave him the biggest hug and kiss. And asked him if he was proud of daddy. And he said, yeah, man. So, hey, man, I know last time I gave my son a shout out, I know my son's always watching. So, Tyson, if you're watching, know daddy loves you, buddy.
All right, man. The kids are such great motivation, man. And my daughter, when I see her every single day, it is just something that it gives a feeling to a parent that I can't explain it. I mean, it is such an awesome feeling that it's exhilarating. So when I walked outside, I was leaving, and I walked outside, and I saw the party limo bus. Huge poster of you on the side of it, and there was something on Facebook a little bit later. So how late did you stay out, and what did you do?
We ended up the party bus was actually Rockstar Sterling Party Bus and Limousine Company. It's a friend of mine's company here in Sacramento. If anybody's looking for a good party bus or limo, definitely hit them up. But they had shown a lot of love and respect for how long I've come, in my career, getting ready for my pro debut, and they wanted me to have a good time. So they had actually taken care of me and had that bus outside for me. I didn't know until I walked outside to see the big banner and poster that they had designed for me, so I thought that was pretty cool, man.
That was awesome, man.
And on the parenting, right after we did our final prayer, I got home to my wife and 2 daughters.
All right.
Dad loves you. So there was no party bus for this guy. I lived vicariously through the Facebook pictures.
All right. Dig that, brother. You know what? So did you take a couple days off? Did you reflect, relax, or were you just right back at the grind?
So I don't know if you saw him, but during the fight, man, I actually had 3 buddies of mine that I was in the Army with and had the honor of serving overseas in Iraq with. They had come from all over the country. I had a friend of mine come from Nevada, one from SoCal, another friend of mine all the way from Maryland on the East Coast.
Right.
So they were here for the weekend. I just want them to know if they're watching, I love you guys. I appreciate the love and support. But we can call up. 6 years. Seeing them was a great sight, and it was kind of like we just left off where the last time we saw each other. It was a good experience.
All right, so I know we talked about that, your fight's coming up. So I know probably every fight is something that you're looking forward to, but next on the horizon for Blake McKernan, what is there any of those fights that you got coming up that you're looking forward to more than another one, or it just doesn't matter?
Hey man, I'm just gonna take one fight at a time. As of right now, we're supposed to be fighting April 29th. There's a lot of other dates set up in the coming months. So we'll just focus on one fight at a time, get that W, and move on to the next.
All right, so we're just about out of time. Jen C, do you have any final questions, comments, or anything?
No.
I think she's speechless.
All right.
Speechless walking.
All right, Jason, anything you got for us, man? Any parting words of wisdom?
Parting words of wisdom. Every day of your life is a blank canvas. So we have the ability to write the outcome. Right now, where Blake is in his career, and also with the power of social media, all of us have an opportunity to get in a path, to be able to watch him overcome his challenges as he ascends to the top. Right now, his career is a blank canvas.
Yes.
Just like every day of our lives, we have the ability to see certain colors that are going to be thrown on our canvas. You can erase that. You can cover that up. You don't have to accept that. So just let us all continue to pursue our dreams. Glenn, I really appreciate you. One thing about Glenn, guys, that I'll say is Glenn and I exchanged cards at the ringside. He said, I'll give you a call. The guy gave me a call. So, no, what I'm saying is your word is your bond in life.
Yeah.
People that are successful, that's one thing that they do is they keep their word. If you say you're going to do something, you better do it. So I appreciate you, Glenn, having us this afternoon.
Yeah, amen. Thank you, man, and it's awesome. Giovanni, I know you had a question, so we're about to...
Giovanni, you're the man.
So,
You're the man.
been looking for you, brother, man, trying to find out where you're at. So we got a couple quick questions here. So before we sign off, so what's your question for Blake here?
Okay, Blake, my question to you is, when you walked out of your suite that you had at the DoubleTree, and there was that giant monster brother that was standing there, and then he started clapping his hands, and I was standing on the edge of the ring. When you walk in there and you see media waiting for you to step out, I mean, what are you thinking? Are you even tripping on media, and are they going to get your photo, and is this the right side or that side, or are you just focused on the enemy, the adversary in that ring? Because believe me, I was there to capture that monstrous photo and op and imagery of you and video, which obviously they didn't know I took video of every round, so I got that on lockdown. So
Seeing when I was coming out, and I was listening to my music, man, I had tunnel vision. I was just focused on the fight and what I was going to do in that very moment. I feel like this was a moment that I kind of had been preparing my entire life for. And Lights, Camera, Action, man, I felt like I lived in the moment. It was a moment I've been looking for towards my whole life. So I just walked out there and did my thing. I walked with supreme confidence. I got in that ring, man, and I did what I needed to. But I love the feeling. Like I said before, I'm an adrenaline junkie, man. So walking out, seeing all those people yelling and cheering for me and cheering me on, this Team McKernan movement is only going to grow and get bigger, brother. So I'm telling you.
let me tell you, let me respond to that, because when I was in the ring, I felt that energy, dude. You hear Eminem and this music coming on, and then I see you come out with that camouflage hoodie, and I felt that energy just bleed over onto me, and I felt like I was a superstar, and I'm on the other side of the lens, and then when I took that video of you, and I'm like, damn, this guy, boxing is back, brother. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this is a boxer. I mean, you have that image, the way you carry yourself. Boxing is back. I can't begin to tell you how powerful boxing is. And by the way, no offense to our friends in the MMA world and UFC, but boxing is really classy still. It really is.
Yeah.
And there's just a classiness about it. It's like a step above. It's not as brutal. It's just, but man, boxing is back, and you are carrying that banner. I got to tell you, you're carrying that flag into the ring. Boxing is back.
Let me just say this, man. A lot of in my life and push forward, never kind of drew back, and everything that has been like I have, and I know I have everything that this country wants. I'm a All-American, prior war veteran, heavyweight division, cruiserweight division, and I'm a beast.
Caught slipping because I saw
Definitely
you,
not.
and I watched the video of those rounds, and I'm telling you, man, it's just that your posture and you were slight, but he didn't know it was coming.
Hey man, one thing I'll say is I feel like that fight couldn't have gone any better than it did.
Yeah.
I showed people I had a lot of heart, punch, I got a great chin, and I had the heart and the mindset of a champion, man. So believe me when I tell you, man, like this isn't just words that I'm talking. I eat, sleep, and breathe what I'm telling you. I am coming for a world title, and I will become a world champion.
And that's it. Boxing is back.
Boxing is back. All right, you know what? You heard it first on Epic Sports Radio. This gentleman right here, he is going to be a world champion, and he's going to come back on the show. And go ahead, brother.
Hey man, just one thing before we go. I always got to tell everybody that's been down for me, my friends, family, and my fans that have been there for me throughout my entire life. I just want to say thank you. You guys are the driving motivation behind my son of why I get to wake up every day and do what I do. Behind my sponsors, Try Me and Fighter Training Apparel. I love you guys. Appreciate you guys keeping me suited. My boy Champ Seymour, he was actually the one that designed my Army fatigue outfit for the fight. This dude is a great designer. Anybody looking for some custom designs, this dude will get you suited and booted, believe that. On top of that, I know my coach and my son are watching. I always got to show a lot of respect and love for my son and my coach, Joe Legato. He's actually training at Olympus Boxing Gym in North Highlands, man. So if anybody's ever in the area wants to come by and check us out.
All right, once again, thanks Giovanni, Jason, I appreciate it, and my special guest, Blake McKernan, I really appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, keep up with this guy. It's the McKernan movement. It is going fast. It is going in beast mode, and he's going to be on top of the world champion. Mark my words, you've seen it here on Epic Sports Radio, and we will see you next week. Thank you very much for tuning in.
Okay, hey guys, let's get a picture with my camera. Hold on, Ashley, you doing? Great, you ready?